Hello, everyone. I'm Vitika. I'm the product designer with the Continuous Integration Group for the Verify stage. Today, I'd be talking about a solution validation exercise that I'm involved with, which is around the DAG MVC that was very recently rolled out with the 13.1 milestone. I'm talking about this solution validation exercise because it did not follow a very conventional approach towards gathering input from the users. And there were a lot many learnings on the way. This is still underway, by the way. So yeah, there was a lot that I did not expect to happen. And then I had to improvise and resolve those issues. So I thought this would be something great to share with the larger team. Just to set the stage and the context, I'd be talking briefly about the design and implementation process that went behind this effort. So when it comes to DAG, a question that never gets old is what is DAG? So the meaning of DAG is actually very meta to its name, which is directed acyclic graph. It's a graph which is directed and it doesn't have cycles connecting to the other edge. But what does it mean for CI/CD pipeline? In CI/CD pipeline, using directed acyclic graph, what we can do is, what users could accomplish is they could create relationship between jobs, and they do not really have to take into account whether or not the entire stage has been through with the build. So regardless of how many stages are there to set up, they could quickly perform the execution of the next job. So that's how this comes in really handy for our users. And in case anybody wants to dive deeper into the problem statement, I have attached the link to the issues both here and in the agenda. So talking a little about the design process, it started off with problem validation research and gathering information from users, asking them what they really are looking for. Then there was a set of design exploration exercises that followed it, keeping it, syncing with the findings from the research. But soon it was realized that those efforts were not enough. In fact, the tools that were being used, the conventional design tools, were also not enough to iterate on or even do scalable exploration for such a complex graph. And the intention was to work with the front-end team and come up with the tool so that the designer and the development team could together work on the iterations. But of course, there wasn't enough time. And what happened was eventually this gap, it widened between design and development, and a lot had to be compromised when it came to the final design that was delivered for that particular iteration. So here is an image of what was rolled out with 13.1. And I would get to how we started with directing users to the public feedback issue, where they went and gave their feedback. So since this feature was rolled with a feature flag, and there's a link right at the top that, in a banner that gave them access to the feedback issue. Then, while this was being done in the parallel, I was also working on the discussion guide with Laurie and Tao, and the planning was underway for what we should be putting in the public feedback issue. So looking at that, this is where, the staging of the entire event happened. And all the questions that we should be asking the user, and what would be the good way of approaching them, because it's a public issue, things would be very scattered. So we tried up coming up with various different ways we could probably streamline the responses. And also since this was the very first research that I was taking care of at GitLab, so I looked at a bunch of other examples, which were very helpful, but I couldn't find something that was an exact match when it came to the approach. So this is the issue where the users were directed to the public feedback issue. And as you can see, we tried putting in all the information about what DAG is and what we're expecting here from this research and from this issue, and what are the questions they should be answering, depending on what their experience has been with the dark beta implementation. And here's something I tried. I tried putting those questions which are linked in the description here in different parts, so that when users, they give their inputs towards the end, it would be very easy for me to segregate and analyze without having to scour through the entire issue and probably, uh, I mean, doing the grouping separately. And this definitely did not work as we thought. So we thought we are providing the users with a cake and with a knife on the side, and they would probably take slices of it, but this is what really happened. Yeah, nobody actually responded to these questions in the thread. And as you can see, it was just like me talking to myself. Then comes the part where we had to analyze the data. Now, even though the things did not go exactly the same way as we had planned, but nonetheless, we got a lot of very good feedback. I mean, users were very enthusiastic about what they were seeing there, and they had a lot to say about it. So the next step was to take all the information from that public issue and try to make sense out of it. So the very first step that we had to perform was organize the data, because it was scattered all over. And I started off with doing a very plain affinity mapping, but soon I realized that probably I should also overlap this with another methodology that's called rose, thorns, and buds, which is identifying what are the things that users really loved and what are the thorns in their experiences, like things that you really disliked, and the buds, which are areas of improvement that would make the feature very likable for them. Then the second step was to convert these findings from these separate groups into something actionable. And the first step towards doing that was condensing the observation. So what I tried doing was for each group, the findings from the provided data, they were condensed into a single observation, which kind of answered the underlying why for the various asks that users were putting across. And some of the very prominent ones that kind of stood out very prominently are listed here. The first was the tracking job progress and understanding the dependency between the jobs. It was very difficult for few users. Then feature was not self-explanatory, and the document was kind of hidden, so they had to make their way through the documentation, which wasn't a very friendly experience that you wanted to provide them. Third one is insufficient information provided about the jobs and pipelines. And this totally went against the problem statement that we were addressing. And we would definitely want to address these concerns as soon as we could. The second step in this phase was translating those observations into something actionable, maybe a proposal. And for that, what we did was we tried to figure out, like with the PM, we tried to figure out that how could we address these observations that we found? Like what could we do from our side so that this problem gets solved? And so the proposal for each of those observations were created. Now, there's always this constraint of time, because there are many other things that we are looking at, and it's really important to prioritize like what we want to do first. So there are many things on the basis of which we prioritized, even though the graph just says importance and feasibility. For importance alone, we looked at the frequency for of feedback, like how many number of times has it occurred, how many people have talked about it. The second was the simulated heat map that kind of emerged as a result of using roses, buds, and thorns. So if you look at those colors, they kind of suggested that which are the groups that were most disliked or people were most displeased with those. So they had to be improved on priority. Then the third one was the alignment of those suggestions with the problem that we are trying to address. And for feasibility, of course, we tried to align with the available capacity for the team and the present tech capability. So we did a prioritization exercise, and that's how we ended up with two of the proposals which are now being turned into an issue for 13.3. Now, talking about the next steps in the process, going down, what we are looking at is, something that's already in progress is creation of issues for the top 2 prioritized proposals. And what we are planning on doing for the next step is approaching participants from the feedback issue for interviews. Getting in touch with them, probably organizing interviews with them to dig deeper into their concerns and in a more structured way, so that we could actually understand what's the motivation behind what they're trying to achieve on this feature. Then refining the insights based on the findings from these follow-up sessions. So what it would really help us doing is it would end up refining, it would end up validating the observations that we have already. And so I see this as a plus, even though this turned into something that we had least expected or we were least prepared for. What really happened in this issue was through the scattered feedback that kind of came our way, we realized that the set of assumptions that we were moving ahead with, they were not enough. And now if we approach those participants with our set of questions, those questions would be way more valid and way more, they'd be much better in quality and would gather a better response from them, and that we could act upon. So that was my lesson from this activity. It's still going on, but this was quite a learning. And thank you so much. That's all I have to share.